Yo, what's up, boys and girls? Welcome to the M4 Grand Finals analysis with your boy Mirko. This is it, boys. You guys have been waiting for quite a while for this upload, the gameplay/analysis breakdown for the M4 Grand Finals. Unfortunately, I'm a bit late. I will only a bit of disclaimer before we start this with the first game. I am only going to be analyzing, I think, 2 or 3 games. I'm not going to be analyzing every single game because here in the best of 7, there are games that are won pretty fast, and I think you guys can come to a conclusion yourself as to how Echo were able to beat Blacklist International. So the game 1 is definitely a game that I want to dissect because this is the start, right? Still not a lot of momentum at play just yet. Just both teams showing up. So we're going to start here with the drafts, right? Because I think there's a lot to actually learn from in the drafts here, or a lot to talk about in the drafts, that just are, for me, are really, really, I wouldn't say big mistakes, but I think are mistakes. I don't know if I can even say mistakes, right? It's because Blacklist International are very template in their drafts already nowadays with their... Well, you'll see. You'll see what I'm talking about here as we go through the video. So here, right? I even said this during cast. If you guys watch it back, if I can just move it back a bit, but I'm too lazy, so we'll just talk about it here. You can see the Cho ban, obviously, with respect to Yaoi. We're seeing Fredrin and the Kaja ban, 2 just prio bans right now, right? The Fredrin, as the tournament kept on progressing, Fredrin just became so prio. On the other side, Echo still just going for the same kind of bans, right? They opted to leave the Yve open. They instead went for the 1-1, Carry, and Glue ban. Now, I thought it was going to be instant first pick Yve, right? Yve is a solid hero, possibly at M4 the best hero in the mid lane in terms of wave clear, in terms of team fighting, in terms of damage, just base damage in general, right? Controlling the mid wave is insane when you're on the Yve. So I really expected Yve to be picked up by Blacklist here, knowing again that Haji plays a very mean Yve. Seeing them first pick the Barats was a bit of a shocker to me, right? Because they left the Yve open, as I said in the video too. So the Lapu gets picked up too, because I think at this point, right, Echo want to try to force Haji onto a hero that isn't the Farsa, isn't the Xavier. They picked up the Lapu to really threaten that right? They picked up the Yve so that Haji can't play the Yve, can't take a hero that can just stand there with the real world manipulation despite having people jumping into the back line. So this is just a backline threat. Usually when you see a Lapu, teams would try to, move away from the Farsa picks, move away from the Xavier picks, 2 of Haji's, kind of main heroes. But here, Haji actually goes for the Farsa, right? And they go for the Harith too. I think Harith is a solid pick here. I'm not really I don't really like the Farsa pick up against the Lapu. The Harith I can understand because... they saw that, both 1-1 and Carry has been banned out, right? 2 marksmen have been banned out. And if they don't pick up a gold laner here, Echo are most likely going to ban out more gold laners here. Or just 1 more gold laner and then a ban towards Venus, right? Here, Echo. They go for a Kai? Yeah, I mean, at this point, they just need utility, right? They need a front line. Because, there's a fun fact about Sanford's Lapu. He can act as a frontline, but in most games, especially at M4, he really likes to go full damage. Or full damage to a point, up until mid-game, and usually they have snowballed to get a victory there, so, yeah.
Edward, to actually get counter or just targeted here. Maybe the Benedetta ban comes through because Blacklist still need...
This is me just speculating if I see the Benedetta ban, because that is a signature pick. But Echo decide, hey, you know what? We have a lot of CC. We have a lot of dive. We want a team fight. So, yeah, we're just going to ban the Estes and a Diggy. Pick up the Lolita here to go up against the Harith. Seeing the Brody and the Beatrix banned out, I think they're really happy with this, right? I mean, you could really see in the draft here. This is something that's pretty crazy, right? Because usually in your compositions, you want to go for a balanced draft in terms of damage. Usually, you would want to go for, you already have a Yve, you already have a Lapu, Yve, a lot of magic damage, right? For Lapu, not so much physical damage usually. It's usually a semi-tank. So usually you still want a marksman in the gold lane. But they went for the Lunox instead. Why did they go for the Lunox? Because Sanford and Lapu, he's a physical damage boy. He really likes building physical damage. Like I said in here too. The Hunter Strike, Bloodlust Axe, he goes for like these really offensive items early on. And that's the reason Echo went for this kind of draft. So here we go. All right, so I think in terms of like matchup wise too, Echo are just really good at the drafts here because they really drafted for winning lanes across the map. I feel, right in the mid lane you can see the winning matchup: Yaoi and Sanji on the Yve and the what's it called, the Lolita. Sanford Edward Benedetta does do a bit better level 1 because of the dashes, but Sanford definitely, you know, gets his power spike a bit later on and can win in that lane. Becomes kind of a skill matchup. Meanwhile, in the gold lane, Lunox should have a bit of an edge up against the Harith. The Harith gets sort of countered by that kind of burst, that kind of damage. So, in terms of winning lanes already, Echo, are going to be better in that division. They're constantly going to be pushing the mid lane, forcing Haji to stay in the mid lane. Not really going to be able to rotate across the map. And Benny is such a good weak side player too, right? Technically both. Benny and Sanford are really good weak side players. If you guys don't know what weak side is well, a lot of people have their own terms. For me, I was taught this way back in the other MOBA games that I played. But the weak side of the map is the side of the map that your team doesn't rotate to, right? So if Echo rotates to the XP lane, gold lane is the weak side of the map. Just like that. Hey, Cloudy. Cloudy wants to be in the video, dude. Look at her. She wants to be in the video. Every single time I record. Like, here, it's just really passive, right? Both teams don't really want to go for anything too crazy just yet. Echo have a lot of control in the mid lane, but they lack a lot of that mobility. A lot of the mobility to actually go for those crazy plays. Sanford and the Yve already going in at it. If you can see here, right? In terms of setup, Echo definitely had the better setup here in the fight, right? Right before they got into the fight. Why? Because the bottom side has been pushed in already, right? And Edwards here doesn't really have the prio he has. He doesn't have the prio. Mid lane was pushed in too by Yaoi. So you can see in terms of rotation, Echo were just faster to get there, right? At this point, it's a 4v3. Haji can't really join, and by the time he clears out that mid wave, he can't rotate down below. If he does, it will not work out for him. This will work out for Echo. This is the man advantage that's created by the wave clear and just the lane prio. So it's a very, very good decision by Haji to actually rotate to the gold lane, knowing that, it's a lost cause anyways in the turtle side. Blacklist got the turtle. Wise was actually able to steal it away. So it's not that bad. It's actually a pretty good trade if you're a Blacklist International with this composition. Thing is though, Echo scales with their comp. So it's kind of scary. Sanji tried to rotate there. It's a good gank by Blacklist. Again, they really know how to go for those kind of ganks here. Echo finally rotating to the gold lane, knowing that again. The trades here by Filipino teams are absolutely amazing. It's macro masterclass every time a Filipino team plays, right? There's a lot of these clean rotations. There's not a lot of team fights going on the map. It's mostly just ganks, pickoffs here and there. Just catching people off based on the rotations here, right? And even here, you could see, right? Kraltizi rotates to the mid lane, knowing that Haji popped in that ultimate. Helps to clear the wave so that Sanji can actually recall safely. Again, stopping the Farsa from actually rotating anywhere. Meanwhile, in the gold lane, it's still Yaoi. Benny in the winning lane already. Once he gets that ultimate, there's not much you can do on the Harith. So Benny's just playing it really slow in the lane. He's not shoving the lane, which is great, right? This is another thing that not a lot of teams utilize. It's when to take the lane slow, when to take the lane fast, right? When to go and shove the wave. And this causes Blacklist International to respond to it by sending a few members up top, leaving their mid lane wide open for the taking. And this is where Haji ultimately, gets caught. Technically, he doesn't get caught. He doesn't die here, but it's still, really good until that happened. Edward was able to find that. But again, it's these just little micro decisions that the teams are making there. That was a really good recovery. That should not have been good for Blacklist, but Edward just comes in. Wise gets this one. This is really the reason why I wanted to choose game number 1, right, to analyze, because there's a lot to actually analyze. Because Edward on the Benedetta, he makes things happen, right? In terms of the prio there in lane, Echo had the better prio. Blacklist are really good at that kind of thing, where they actually rotate Wise over to a certain lane to help get more prio in a losing matchup. For example, just that gold lane, right? And yeah. That's what they were able to do. They cleared out the gold lane, got to the turtle faster, had more prio there. Haji got caught in the mid lane because Echo prioritized the mid lane. But guess what? Edward's there, and Echo kind of overcommitted, right? So these little punishes that Blacklist are able to do up against Echo are great, but Echo do the same thing, especially when it comes down to like just picking people off on the map. That's their specialty, I feel like, right? Like team fights and pickoffs. Echo's Ooh, my God. Yeah, back to my point. I think Echo, in terms of like their team fighting, it's weird because macro-wise, they're very much a PH team, right? But even in the team fights, it feels like an Indonesian team. The way they like go for pickoffs and stuff, it feels like Indo. It's like Echo's a good mix of both of these styles, man. Macro and micro. And you can see Sanford, despite being 0-2-2, still going for that damage, right? Well, he went for Bloodlust, technically not full damage, but he's still going for sustain, not really going to go for defensive early on. Again, just normal build, but later on you could see, especially when in the games that he snowballs, he wants to go for like pure physical damage. Here, this is the example. This is the thing that I wanted to talk about before the turtle started, right? Benny, knowing he has a better position in lane, like in terms of power, he just waits there. He zones Oheb away, and if Oheb ever steps closer to the wave, it's fine. He goes in for the trade, right? Oheb's taken low, and this wave, he's going to miss out a lot of gold. Oheb. What a great escape, dude. This is just really good by Sanford, dude. That was just really crazy, dude. Again, Echo had the better position because Benny already made Oheb low. Sanji was able to rotate despite Haji rotating faster because he had the wings by wings, but it just was coordinated so well together. Even the other side of the map, Echo was able to find the objective, steal the orange buff away here from Blacklist International. And again, this is the reason, right? The Lunox pick in the end was so good for Echo because of the matchup, and because Sanford does enough physical damage on his by himself. Blacklist can't really go for a full magic defense here. Baits out Detonus Welcome, goes for the siege. Good, just force errors across the map. They're pushing in that top side. They're clearing in the mid lane while poking, while also forcing some some ultimates out. Benny's in the wave or in the bush there. And Kraltizi really knows his limits on the Akai, man. He knows that the Detonus Welcome has been popped in, so he doesn't really need to care. There's no CC that can really knock him down. Like Blacklist don't have enough damage to really melt him down too. So again, Echo just really understands how to utilize or how to maximize every single hero in their position right now.
it is because they understand, okay, we're just going to stay in lane. There's no use trying to out-rotate Blacklist at this point. So we're just going to say, because Oheb is going to be the one that's going to deal a lot of the DPS damage later on. So shut him down first. Right now, there might be a skirmish in mid.
But the airstrike was used up just to clear up the waves. Echo, with his composition so far, can constantly be threatening these sieges. And also, they can also be looking for a lot of players.
Basically what I said. Echo can constantly be threatening these sieges. And the thing is, as long as they keep on sandwiching Blacklist International, or they keep on opening the map like, well, the way Yowie's doing right now, there's no way Blacklist can actually open it up without getting caught, right? Because it's just the pure damage that Echo has here. Again, the way they're playing this now, that they have a 2.3k gold lead, when they have Sanford 1 level ahead of Edward, when they have Benny 1 level ahead of Oheb, is right now they just have all their power spikes ready, right? Meanwhile, Blacklist International, they don't really have their power spikes ready. A lot of them are behind. So Echo are just constantly pushing in the waves that are near to the neutral objective they want to take, right? Optimally, you want to push in all 3 waves here, but Echo, usually, they just really care about the mid lane and the bottom lane because they always have that top lane slow pushing. As you can see, top lane is slow pushing towards Blacklist International, and they've cleared up the mid lane. Technically, they didn't really go for a full clear 2 in the mid lane. They actually like left it a bit open there, right? So with this, they will have more prio. They are forcing Blacklist International outside of their territory to fight for, like, to go for a fight here. And look at Benny, look at Echo, right? They understand exactly what they're doing here. They're not just doing this for the lulz, right? The way they're managing the waves, it's not luck. They did this. They know what they're doing. They know that they're using this to create some more pressure where Harith needs to rotate down below. And now with Harith down below, they can restart the Lord, right? And then the setup just becomes beautiful for Echo because they play it so well. They keep on going front to back. They keep on pulling, kiting away. And in the end, they have this man advantage that they created from the waves that they've been pushing, from them just being patient and disciplined around the map, or yeah, around the waves here, right? Again, even here, you could see it. The slow push that they've been building earlier on is gone, was cleared out here by Blacklist International. Once they get here, guess what they do? They clear out the waves, right? Why do they clear out the waves instead of just backing after Lord? It's to stop any kind of siege from happening from Blacklist, to stop any kind of trade to happen that can happen from Blacklist International. Because the wave pushing in here, let's say they okay, this is just a nasty play by Benny, but let's say the wave wasn't pushed in. Let's say they recalled with 3 members low. Blacklist would have just pushed in the mid lane, gone tier 1, and it would have been a trade. Wouldn't have been a good trade because still Echo would have won the trade with a Lord steal, or with a Lord take, my bad, and with 2 kills on the board, right? But they add on to that. They have Kraltizi to zone the Blacklist members away. Meanwhile, Sanford just uses his first ability with Sanji to clear out the mid lane to stop that from happening. Haji ultimately gets caught because of that, because they try to clear in the mid wave and try to go for a kill. Venus forced the flicker, and it's just the chain reaction based on just one play that they did kept on going, right? And yeah, Echo just keeps on doing this. And here too, mid lane, again, going back to the words that I said during cast, they can constantly be threatening the sieges. Because of just how much... usually when you threaten an enemy team with your sieges, it's usually when you have a marksman, right? Because you can actually deal damage to the turret. You can actually poke it down with your range. Here, what Echo are doing is they're using their damage, they're using their damage and their pick potential to actually, threaten the sieges. Here, you can see, like, their team fight is the reason they're able to actually, to force the fights to happen, take turrets. The sieges are all done with Echo utilizing their ultimates to actually force Blacklist away. Or if Blacklist wants to take the fight, they just go for a 5v5. Here too, right? You can see it. They're doing so little damage to the turret, but slowly but surely it will come down. They're not, right? Because of the poke that they have, Sanji with the clear as well in the mid lane with the help of Benny, they clear way faster. Kraltizi just, again, going to the enemy jungle, stealing the purple buff away, sandwiching, opening up the map this way so that Blacklist can never have a proper front to back. And they get the turret. It's, again, Echo, what they're doing... Early game, they were doing Echo things, right? They were doing things that only Echo can do. But after they get to a point where they have such a massive gold lead, they go back to the fundamentals. You know, there's no real reason to go for things that are too fancy, to go for team fights, pickoffs like the way they did early on, risky team fights, risky baits and stuff. There's no reason to go for that right now because you have a 6,000 gold lead. Might as well just play the game how it's meant to be played, right? Clear out the waves, stop it, freeze it now that the turrets have been taken away. Wait for the Lord to come back up, which is going to be the enhanced Lord. And guess what? Their composition scales better than Blacklist International anyways, right? They have the Lunox, the Yve. For Blacklist, the Farsa can scale. Haji can, Oheb can scale too on the Harith, but again, in terms of the matchup, Lunox is going to be able to dish out more damage. And their damage is more, well, I wouldn't say more mixed here for Echo, but it feels like, again, with the 6,000 gold lead, they are going to be able to reach their power spikes late game way faster too, so Blacklist can't really have a response, right? I think if both of them have the same amount of gold and it's 20 minutes in the game, then it can be a 50-50. Then it can be a true 50-50, right? Oheb can start popping off. But right now, 2 levels below Benny, in terms of gold too, there's a huge difference. There's no way. And again, Echo just playing fundamentals, right? They have the lead, clear out the waves. They froze it first, then built up slow pushes. And then went for the Lord. If Blacklist forced the Lord fight, Echo would just pull the trigger, go for it. If Blacklist avoid the Lord fight, it's a free Lord. Playing the forced error game again. And now they're setting up to, again, you know, just utilize the Lord to siege down Blacklist International's base here. Look at the way they're managing the waves again, right? Bottom side is slow pushing, top side as well. They don't care about it. Why? Because with the Lord, it's an automatic slow push, right? Just leave the Lord there. Usually you want to play around the bottom side and the mid wave together to crash both, and then you look for turrets. But the way Echo are doing it here is they're timing it where it's coming down one by one because they actually want to team fight. They actually want Blacklist to clump up like this to use their abilities, right? Then you can see the rotations, and yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I said. They have a way to do this, right? I feel like any other team, they don't, well, not any other team. Most teams don't do this. Most teams can't, you know, utilize the waves like this, the way Echo are doing. Because, again, like I mentioned, the way Echo plays is it's a great mix of both macro and micro. Then Echo takes game 1. It's a very solid game 1. There's a lot to dissect, despite it being very one-sided. But hey, right? It's still a solid game to dissect, and you can see the fans are going crazy with it. You know what? Because the game's so fast, we might as well just move to the second game right here. Let's just skip over to the second game. Let's make it game 1 and game 2. And here, it's just really crazy. The amount of the adjustments that they made here, right? Because in game number 1, if you guys remember, you guys should remember. If you don't remember, move back. Blacklist, they banned Cho, Fredrin, and Kaja, right? Now they banned the Yve. So they're already making adjustments to change their draft. And that was one of the, you know, little thing that I wanted to say in game number 1 in the draft is where when they picked up the Farsa, maybe they could have just picked up something like the Estes, right? Sure, Haji's hero pool can be a bit compromised, but I think picking up something like a Estes or a Diggy would be better for them in the end. Compared to picking up a Farsa up against a Lapu, right? We all know Haji. He can play a lot of heroes in the mid lane. I think utilize that a bit more, right? Here, they banned out the Estes, so they removed that. Diggy is the only hero that can be picked up here. And Blacklist, at this point, what are they going to first pick, right? I believe they went for the same route. No, okay, yeah. They didn't ban the Fredrin. So, okay, my bad. Fredrin picked up. But now they pick up the Farsa, and I believe it's the Lapu again. Or no, it's glue. It's open. Yeah. Echo did not ban the glue. They banned the Estes. My bad. I forgot. But yeah, now they go for the Farsa and the glue. Blacklist International have the Fredrin. Now, what do they go for up against the glue and the Farsa, right? They go for the Valentina for... I think it's a solid Valentina pick here. The Lolita pick? The Lolita pick kind of just stops Echo from trying to go for any kind of crazy marksmen like the Beatrix and Brody, but I think Echo still goes for the Brody in the end later on. We'll see. Is it game 2 or game 3 where Benny backdoored? It's just a battle of utility though, right? If Fredrin's picked up, you go for Barats, and then first game you saw the Yakai. Now you're seeing the Lapu ban respecting Blacklist. I think they do. Okay, they banned Claude here.
A little bit about this XP lane or just Blacklist International strat because
Ban Harith. What's the other ban that comes through here? Atlas. Respect to Yaoi. So 3 bans towards Yaoi this time. And then yeah, there you go. Echo does go for the Brody in the end, which is interesting, right? Because usually when you see a Lolita, you don't want to pick the Brody up, but Benny plays the Brody in a very different way. He goes in last. He doesn't deal damage. He's an assassin. That's the way to describe Benny as a marksman. He's an assassin marksman. He's not a marksman that does damage in these team fights, like front to back. He's the guy who comes in last second when everybody's low and he cleans everybody up. That's Benny QT. There they go for Beatrix Joy. Alright, so again, something to note down is just take a look at the matchups, my dudes, right? The matchups here, Brody does really well against the Beatrix. Valentina and Lolita does have a an alright time against Franco and Farsa. I think the mid lane is a bit better this time for Blacklist International. But again, the gold lane is just a problem there, right? The Beatrix Brody doesn't really work well for the Beatrix. And okay, if it's Yaoi on the Franco, so even the mid lane is a bit tough.
The reason why is because it breaks Aoi. It's going to be a great way to again either set up a box that Blacklist.
Yeah, I completely forgot. Even the XP lane, Sanford's gonna have a much better time clearing out waves early on, right? So Sanford's gonna be much more active.
he picked up that Franco, but unfortunately for RQ, they didn't have anything to build around the Franco.
Oh yeah, this is something that I mentioned too, right? The reason the Franco pick from RQ didn't work was because there was no burst to back up the Franco. Meanwhile here, Echo really understood, right? That's why they picked up the Brody, and that's why they picked up the Farsa. They need burst to follow up to the hook.
Right now, he is going to be caught. Yaoi going to throw the iron hook.
Good dodge. Oh, same. I said the same thing I said before.
After the group stages, this Franco is a nightmare for them because
Yeah, Franco is like one of the most banned heroes for Blacklist, by the way. So you can really tell that Blacklist dislike this hero with their kind of style, right? Getting picked off one by one is definitely not a way that they want to go for. Sanford weak side on the glue. There's not much of a threat here. There's not much that Blacklist can do to threaten Sanford. He still had the flicker. He was all good there. Also with the rotations now, with Farsa. Not a lot of backline threat from Blacklist International to cancel that Farsa out. You can kind of say that Sanji's going to be free, right, in a lot of these fights. So first turtle comes in. This time it's actually Blacklist with much better clear or a much better setup, right, in terms of the mini waves. But Echo again thinks ahead, thinks 2 steps ahead. They don't care about the mid wave. They actually just rotate around here, knowing that they already have level 4, and they keep on going here. Yaoi with a good hook. And they back off, right? They lose Carl TZ in the end, but Sanford finds a pick off too. So it's not that bad. It's a 2 for 1, but Echo got the turtle, so it's a 2 for 2 technically, and they don't lose out much, right? Sanji is still alive. The only members who died were Yaoi and Carl TZ, both utility utility and roam. So at this point, it's really gonna benefit Benny with the turtle take, right? Benny's gonna have a little bit more power to play through in his lane that's already a winning matchup.
looking at the items right now, really not a lot of power spikes.
So you can see it here,
The Beatrix here,
right again.
understands that there is a chance he's going to get attacked, and right now, Carl Hughes is getting attacked.
The way Benny lanes, I think, is something that's very underrated. A lot of people talk about his team fighting, but his laning is so solid. Again, it's nothing too flashy, actually, in terms of his laning, right? He just understands when to take the wave slow, when to actually go for the full push when he has a man advantage up top, when he knows the people are not there. You notice that everybody is in the mid lane, was spotted, and then he starts to push in with Yaoi. This is that's a really good, that's a good snipe by Oheb.
That was an insane calculation, man. An insane micro play by Oheb, right? He knows exactly how it was going to go down. Even with the snipes there.
I gotta say, in my head, he was holding his breath and like, 1, 2. just get it. And I just want to touch a little bit about the emblems because in terms of scaling, I kind of feel like Blacklist, they have an advantage because OHEB is...
And here, yeah, again, another example of Benny just utilizing the lane so well, the wave, right? Because even though they did not get the hook in the end, it's really good setup already. You could see how it could have worked out, right? Because OHEB was forced to jump in. I think even if Wise got a hook there, Wise would have just disappeared from the Turtle Pop memory, and obviously the damage from Sanji. Right? Again, it's another team fight where Blacklist International have the better setup. But I believe they stayed a bit too long here. Yeah, I think this is like a common trend here for Blacklist, especially in this game, is the fact that they got the neutral objective and they still keep on going, even though Echo have the better team fight, right? They have the better team fight composition. So, in the end, yeah, it becomes kind of worth the Echo. Yeah. It's... Again, Blacklist, they took the objectives and they don't back off. They still play for it. They still play for the team fights, even though they utilize a lot of resources to actually get the turtle down. So Echo, knowing that they have a resource advantage, just keeps on going. And here too, in terms of itemization, right? You guys need to use this, guys. I don't use this in my ranked games because I don't care. But if you are playing professionally, or if you want to, you know, rank up, utilize the steel leg plates, guys. It's still the most broken defensive item right now. It's so cheap, and the amount of physical defense you get is the same as brute force, literally. So get it, guys. It's the cheapest defensive item, especially when you're playing the gold lane up against marksmans. Just get it, dude. It's such a massive like advantage. Again, this is something that I tell people, but I personally don't do because like I don't care. My ranked games aren't important. But it's something that that you need to utilize right now before it gets nerfed, right? Because it's still quite disgusting. The fact that it has that much physical defense being that cheap, by the way. It's a good hook. Detonus welcome. The lockdown is just so good, man. XP for jungler. Still worth the trade for Echo. And look at Benny. Look at Benny. See, I swear to God, this guy is a weirdo. He's a weirdo, dude. In a good way. Because look at him. Like, dude, I swear to God, this guy doesn't care about the wave. You know why this is the reason I'm saying he's weird, right? Because if I was Benny right here, I think if most pro players, what they would do in this position when this team kind of got caught there and there's a lot of attention around the mid lane while you're free in the gold lane, I would have just gone to clear in the top side, right? I would have just tried to siege the turret down, maybe get some hits onto it. But no, he doesn't care about the wave. He actually rotates all the way here, and again, Blacklist won't think about this because they're thinking how a normal human should think. They're like, no way. All right, Benny just recalled, right? There's no way that Benny's in this bush. Yaoi gets spotted here. So Blacklist thinks, hey, if the roamer was hiding here in this bush, there's no way Benny is hiding here, right? So again, it's not in Blacklist's head. At Blacklist, they're just thinking, okay, Benny's somewhere. He's probably in the bottom lane. He's probably looking for a trade or something, right? Look at this guy. Again, look at this. Again, it's the mind games that Echo are playing. Yaoi's constantly like pushing in here or showing himself here. So Blacklist think there's no way that a marksman would be here. And then Benny comes in. Oheb gets taken low and he ults. He finds the damage. He flickers out of the sun. It doesn't make sense, right? Because it's not the efficient play. Usually you want to go for just neutral objectives there, like a turret. No, he stays there. He takes Oheb down, and because of that, it's already a good trade. He also somehow steals the turtle, which is a massive bonus, and then we have a stun or a pause. But yeah, again, it's just another thing that we can talk about when it comes to Benny. Benny, God damn you, Benny. Respect to the Indonesian crowd, by the way, man. I was super proud. I was really worried that, you know, it wasn't gonna be like a lot of people. A lot of people won't show up because it's PHPH Grand Finals. But hey, goes to show you the respect that we have for the game and we have for the best teams in the world.
Pretty good trade now that I see it for Black.
Benny gets caught in the end there.
Benny actually fell for the airstrike though from Sanji in the mid lane.
But yeah, Benny, monster. Monster.
And we're looking at a possible kill on Edward.
Nope. That's Edward for you. Gets out in relative ease again, right? Echo trying pressure, but now it's just for Blacklist International to.
You see, because Blacklist are playing in terms of the neutral objective game and the just turret game, they're doing really well. Again, they're setting up properly. Echo are just they don't care. They know when to not care. I think that's the way I should put it, right? Because again, still, that's not an objective. You get a kill, you get a cheeky pick off, and you go for fights. This is something that Echo can do. Not every single team can do this, right? Usually, if you're a good team, you play for objectives. You play for team fights. That's how you play. Echo, they can look for both, right? And they can look for both in a very risky way, and they can find trades in a very risky way. It's super 50-50, right? Because if Yaoi didn't get that hook, then it would have just been Blacklist pushing in mid lane and taking a tier 1 in the mid lane, or forcing an ultimate and then setting up properly for the next lord to come. But because Echo were able to find that, because they're so confident in each other's skill and the communication was just popping off, I don't know what is going on here. Their momentum after game 1, they just started to pop off, every single one of them. They can make those kind of plays happen, and they can still hold on to the lead despite being a turret down, despite being a few neutral objectives down. Yeah. If you see an opportunity, just go for it. Yeah, that's Echo. And again, now they go back to the fundamentals, right? They notice, hey, mid lane's not pushed in. I'm gonna just push it in, get more pressure. Now Sanford's gonna be able to push this in, or can push his position. He can open up the map. Meanwhile, Haji has to clear. And again, it's because they have them in a pinch, right? Blacklist are in a pinch here. You can see the Brody finally clearing out the wave too, so they're battling it out. Blacklist were prioritizing the bottom side wave to get more pressure down below, but they have given out that position already here, right? You can see Yaoi is rotated here. Haji gets spotted, he gets caught, and he's dead. Man. Sanji is so good at finding these like positions, man. I swear to God. And this is the play. Benny. Sheesh, dude. Oh my God. It was such. Oh my God. What a team fight, dude. What a team fight, dude. That was just beautiful. I mean, there's not much to analyze there, guys. Blacklist made a mistake where they gave that bottom this side pressure away, but hey, they wanted to get the mid lane pressure. There's more openings here towards the Lord, right? It's not really a mistake, but Echo made it look like it's a mistake, and Sanford gets out too. There's no punishments. I don't know, dude. It's crazy. These are the plays that only Echo can make, dude. That Echo can do, dude. First in average assist with 10.4 per game. Yeah. Yeah, don't fight the Lord, kill them first. And that's exactly what they do. They had Carl TZ doing the Lord dance, and everybody else just rotated bottom. Again, it's something that you won't expect, right? With Carl TZ there hitting the Lord, you wouldn't expect them to actually... Well, you can kind of expect it, right? But they just were not aware there. Yaoi just popped the conceal, finds an opening, gets the play. And now, again, they were doing really good on the sieges in game number 1 without a marksman. Imagine if they have a marksman. Game number 2, right? Look at these dodges. Sheesh, Sanji, dude. The Valley, dude. That meme, by the way. Sanford, dude. Sanford, dude. What the heck? Oh my God. Nah, man. At this, there's no analysis to be said here. They're just team fighting, and Echo is just outclassing Blacklist, man. What are you supposed to say, right? There's nothing to say. It's just... Oh my God. It's oh my god, this is one of the games that I wanted to just skip over, but hey, here it is, right? Oh my goodness, just this is why they're the best team in the world, and Bren just beat them, so I don't. Philippines, what the fuck? I by the way, fun fact. For me, I do believe the Echo that played in against Bren wasn't like a full power Echo because it's an Echo that hasn't been playing for a week, I believe, because they were like they were just out vacation and stuff. Props to Bren, not taking anything away from them. Still a crazy feat. They were able to beat Echo, world champions. No excuse for Echo, but again, 1 week. Sanford too, man. It's not just Benny. It's just the side lane, man. Sanford too. Look at him. As a glue, usually you're the frontliner. Nope, not if you're Sanford. You rotate, you flank, and then you just zone Oheb away. And guess what? It is all just a bait because Benny was able to use the chaos to rotate to mid. Here. Oh my god. I didn't even notice this. So, I don't know if this is planned, but look at the positioning of every single member, right? Yaoi moves back into the mid lane. They clear it out. And Sanford, he basically covers... he goes for the flank here to stop any kind of recall. So even if Oheb noticed that, let's say Oheb noticed that Benny actually was pushing in the mid lane, he would have actually went here and recalled, right? But because Sanford's already here, Oheb is forced to fight. There's no way he can run back to the base in time. There's no way he can walk here to recall. So I don't know if this was like called by Echo. If Sanford's whole flank there was called to go for, like, to wait for Benny to go for this. If that's the case, then they have, like, some crazy, crazy foresight. Damn you, Benny. What the heck, dude? Get him out of here. Get him out of here, dude. What the heck? Nah, man. Nah. M4 Echo, I think M4 Echo this is the best performance by a team in the grand finals in a world championship. Nothing comes close to this performance. Like, they were outclassing their opponents in every single department. When Blacklist won 4-0 against Onyx PH, some games were still close. Here, holy moly. Crazy. Yeah, I think that's it for the first one. I think we're going to be... Hey, again, shout out to the Indonesian fans here. This translates to, even though Indonesian teams have been sent home, we're still here to support. And like the kingdom is still here. Hashtag Indo Pride. They're supporting the Filipino teams, right? So again, hey, let's go. But I think that's it for the first episode. I guess we're gonna be doing another one. I think I'm gonna have to choose between Game 3 and Game 4 because it's just the stomp. We might do a combined thing again, Game 3 and 4. But that's it for now, guys. See you in the next one. Like, comment down below if I missed anything or if you guys agree or disagree with anything. Subscribe to the channel, and if you guys want to have a lot of other MLBP discussions, go ahead and check the Discord, my Discord, where we have some discussions. I haven't been really active on the Discord, but it's because of M4 and because of my break. After M4, I took a break, as you can see from the channel. So, yeah, see you later.